My film 10 is about a 17-year-old who is an outcast at school and gets bullied, and he reveals to his counsellor that he can see numbers above the heads of people around him. One of the most important things for me in terms of developing my film and coming up with my script was a book by Blake Schneider called Save the Cat. I really felt like a metaphor in that book that he uses, which is basically a circular clock, and if you think about the clock as your story, you have your beats on the 1, the 3, the 6, the 9 and the 12. And I really felt like in terms of pacing my film, that was really important that I get those beats down to the right timing. So one of the key things for me was to basically, after I'd started writing my script, was constantly getting other people to read it. I probably annoyed my friends and family way too much, be like, read this edition, almost daily, maybe some even twice a day. I would have new versions for them to read. I guess it's really important to use your scripting time and the feedback of others to really experiment with your story, because once it's filmed and you're in post-production, you can't afford to go back and basically change all your story if it's not working for you. I think it's really important that if you don't have friends that are actors or you don't know people who are actors, that there's a subject right down the hallway called drama or theatre studies, and there's plenty of budding actors and people who want to be in front of lights and on screen or on stage. So maybe give them a visit if you're looking for people to act. I guess one of the most important things for me in terms of organisation and structuring my time was to give myself plenty of buffer room, just in case something went long or a shot didn't exactly go as quickly as I wanted to. Basically give yourself double the amount of room that you think it will take, and it will probably take that long. I also did a Google Calendar where I kind of blocked days out or my periods at school where I thought I'd be working, and basically made sure, like I said before, that however long you think it will probably take twice as long. And it's probably best to leave that room just in case. Also, I set a due date for myself for the film about 2 weeks before my teacher did, just so, again, I'd have buffer room, just in case something went wrong or a hard drive died, or I'd have time to make that stuff back. Again, with organising your time and your equipment and gear, you should also make sure you've got backup gear and backup props. Especially for me, we had a knife scene, and midway through we were shooting, both of our 2 knives that we were using broke. And so basically we had to run out to a shopping centre to grab extra knives, and that was taking up time that we should have been able to be shooting or eating lunch, or it just took up extra time. For the majority of our shoot, we used plastic knives because obviously they're a lot safer, but for the close-ups we used real knives, and we handled them with the precaution you've got to on a film set. That's a good thing to keep in mind, to always stay safe. In terms of lighting and sound for me, for sound I used narration because it was a great way to tell the story without showing some of the scenes that would have been really difficult to film. And also for my music, I used a royalty-free soundtrack that I brought from Triune Films, who make Film Right. And they just released a short film called Real Gone, and they released a soundtrack for that for $5, so I just brought that and I was able to use that in my film royalty-free. So post-production for me is my favourite part of the filmmaking process. I used a camera which shot at a higher resolution than full HD, so that allowed me to pan and zoom digitally in post, which is really helpful for if I hadn't framed a shot properly. In the first shot of my film 10, there's a mirror that zooms out into a wider shot of the counsellor's office. To do this zoom smoothly, I shot at a higher resolution that my timeline that I was editing in, and so zooming in post allowed me to not worry about doing a really smooth zoom out when I was actually filming the actual shot. It allowed me to focus on the actors and their delivery of their lines instead of worrying about the camera zooming out smoothly. After filming finished, obviously I moved on to post-production, and a big part of my post-production process was the special effects. I had about 65 shots to do in about 60 days. So a lot of the numbers were done using After Effects and face tracking in After Effects. The numbers were actually done in a plugin done by Video Copilot called Element 3D. It's really important that any special effects you do doesn't take your audience out of the story. Otherwise, anything that breaks the immersion that they have in the story really detracts from your film and basically breaks the whole point of telling the story in general if they get distracted. I think my main advice for VCE Media students would be that story is really key, and that you can have the best resources ever, but if your story is rubbish, then nobody's going to watch it, no matter how good the bokeh looks in the background of your shot. I think another key piece of advice I'd give is that to make sure you have the time at the end, to give yourself a buffer, make sure your goal to get the film done is at least a week or two before your teacher wants it. Just in case things go wrong, you have that time to make sure that you get it done to the best of your ability. Do something that you really love and make sure that you make a film that you'd want to see. Having an idea that you really love is the key to keep you going throughout the next few months.